Hey, Exiles, welcome to another episode of the Still Sane podcast. I am your host, Talkative Try, and I am here today with KallTorak, the master of off-meta builds and the man with one of the most luscious mustaches in the whole Path of Exile 2 community. I gotta ask, Kal, how you doing today, and how has your league starter gone? Because I know that there may have been some preemptive nerfs from grinding your games on your incredibly unique build that you were planning on making.
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for that funny introduction. My league start's been amazing. I've been having so much fun. I don't know if it was necessarily like maybe it was preemptive nerfs, but GGG apparently like from PoE1, return projectiles has been a thing that's run rampant in the past and I feel like at this point GGG knows to not let that get crazy. So my assumption is that maybe it was already nerfed before I had even like tried messing with the videos. But yeah, it got very exciting. Like for me, my build process with making builds is I just like fun themes. So to me, it was just like, oh, this is cool. This bow is going to work on a Warbringer. I'll have 75% block with a bow, and then at some point I might be able to play evasion with a bow. Like that to me, the return projectiles is like the not even the coolest part of it. The rest of it is the cool part. But when you make the video hyping it up, it brings in all the math nerds. And I love the math nerds because I don't like doing the math at all. I just want to play the game and have fun with the build. But the math nerds got really, really excited about the potential of this build. And when we ended up launching with the build, like a lot of the math nerds were like, oh, it's going to do like 32 million DPS per shot in best case scenario, which was like obviously ridiculous DPS. That's what they are getting excited for. And that didn't be the case. Like the bow was missing the unique scaling, which everyone was like assuming baseline was coming because in the verbiage of the video, it was like all low level uniques will be upgradable and it's a low level unique, or low level weapons, excuse me, and it's a low level weapon. This one was excluded from that list and we didn't know that. So that was the first shocker. And then Ice Shot is specifically nerfed with this bow. So that was a big shocker to everyone else. And I let the math nerds get in my head. I started dooming a little bit, but I stayed on course. And I think when I showcase the build at its maximal potential, people are going to be surprised with how it turned out. It is very good. I'm not even close to min max, and I am having an absolute blast with it. Right now, like what happened was I was like the DPS has been good, but I noticed that Mirage Archer was doing a lot of the damage,
Okay.
and I was like, oh okay. I wonder if I can get 2 Mirage Archers. And then I was able to. And then I was like, okay, how many can I get? And I'm currently at 7 Mirage Archers. And the way Mirage Archer works is it inherits, like, it's a copy of you. So if you're using Ironbound with as a Warbringer, which makes it break armor, pierce, and return projectiles, every one of your Mirage Archers is doing that. So if they're all shooting lightning arrows that are all piercing a boss and returning and all hitting lightning rods, you see it like, and this is with like not any good scaling yet for it. So when I do the showcase for it, it's gonna be pretty silly. It's already kind of silly, but yeah, like, this is why like you can't give up on a concept because the math fails out. This is like this is why I always struggle with like the POB arguments. Like it's not working out in POB. These interactions are broken in the early game. But if you really commit to a build and a concept and you like bang your head into it enough, like sometimes you won't get through the wall, but it could lead to really fun stuff.
Yeah, and it's a fascinating concept too. It is a warrior using bows that is now seemingly turned into a minion build, and it's all hinging on this low-level unique that didn't see much use before. And now, from what I've heard, your build is absolutely smashing. I mean, you said it's nowhere near close to min-max, but what are we on day 4, 5 of the league? And I think you've downed a lot of the end game. Like, where are you right now in your progress with this fascinating off-meta starter?
I mean, I haven't like there hasn't been a boss I haven't been able to kill yet. I did the
Nice.
ritual Pinnacle boss. It had like 20 million HP, and I did that, and I think the fight was over in like when you get to the 20 million part, it was like a minute fight. So
Oh wow. Okay.
it's not the best DPS yet, but I'm missing like rage scaling. And one of the things with the bow that is important with the scaling is you have the new Alder's Legacy, which is the unique
Yes.
extraction stuff. Those are super expensive right now. Haven't gotten one yet, but you can use that on the bow I'm using. And the way its damage scales is For each block percent you have, you get added physical damage. And the unique extraction of this bow is more of that. So it's like a massive flat damage increase, which is just a huge scaling effect. And then you add rage on top of that. And then there's this new gem that got added.
Ooh.
Lazy Exile showcased it yesterday. It makes your block chance 100%. And in her showcase, she was showcasing how like with enough stun threshold, it kind of makes you semi-immortal. But what I thought was cool about the gem was it makes when you block, it gives you parry. And I've done parry builds before, and parry, the debuff for it makes the enemy take more attack damage.
Yeah.
So now suddenly, with this bow block build, I can block the boss's attack, give them the parry debuff, and they're taking 50% more damage. So like just every day we're finding just like more damage is multiplicative for those that don't know. So like
Yep.
it makes it just your damage scales insane with that. And just adding I'm still missing rage, which is also more damage. So yeah, I mean, so far I haven't had any problems with any of the current bosses. I don't know what the hardest bosses are. They made it to where like King of the Mist was an uber boss before. You had to do the splinters to do him.
Mhm.
But now when you do him, you can put maps into it. So I don't know
Oh.
how you can. Yeah, so the uber boss that like is like a different type of boss now. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. It's a super cool fight though. I recommend doing ritual as a lot. By the way, it's my super main mechanic. I freaking love it so much. But King of the Mist, yeah, when you spawn his location, you have to clear to it, and then when you go to it, you slot a map into it. And I'm guessing that if like the way like, a good benchmark for builds now will be like putting a super juiced map into it, like a lot of max life and stuff onto it to see like how hard you can make a content.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything like that, but just like the Uber boss had 20 something million life, so that's the hardest thing I've done.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that you could slot in Waystones for like King of the Mist. Do you also get a chance for mechanics like wisps to spawn in that map too, or are you unsure?
I don't
You
know.
don't know? Because
I
I'm
haven't
wondering,
really
can
messed much with it.
okay. I was wondering because then if it's a map, is there a chance for, to have Asmirian Wisp spawn in and then they dominate the unique boss and he gets even more
Yeah.
juiced up? That'd
I
be,
don't know if you could do that.
you don't know?
That'd be
Okay.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if like how if I think tablets could go in it. I can't remember.
Okay.
Ritual's really cool now because you have to do the quest chain,
Yep.
and then that leads to you. You have to get the splinters by donating to the King of the Mist to get the audience with the king. And then when
Yes.
you get an audience with the king, you can reveal on the map a ritual area where the audience of the king can spawn. Then you have to clear to where the audience with the king is, and then you can kill King of the Mist. And then after that, you do like this weird ritual map thing. You clear the rituals, and then at the end of that, there's the Uber boss. So it's not like before where you could just like before I could buy a million ritual splinters and sit there and spam King of the Mist 1,000 times. You can't do that anymore. It's like a journey to do each boss
Yeah.
every time, which it's really cool to be honest.
And you build up to the multi-boss fight too. Have you done any of those multi-boss arenas in
I
Ritual
had
yet?
a I had a 7 boss fight yesterday. It's a YouTube short on my
Oh, it
my
is?
channel right now. Go watch it, everybody.
Okay.
It is freaking after the podcast. It is freaking epic. It is because like I'm just like the way Mirage Archer works is like every 3 seconds you dodge roll and you leave a clone behind. So I'm just like running around surviving, and then all my Mirage Archers are just it's hailstorm, and you're seeing 7 bosses melt. That's gonna be another like super fun like build benchmark where doing a juiced map, because those are things you map up for. So doing a juiced map and then having 7 bosses, if they all had like 20 million HP, that's gonna be a fun benchmark for the build. Like, this patch is cool, man. I'm so hyped.
Yeah, that's insanity. Okay, I will link that YouTube short to the Path of Exile to 7 boss fight in the description, and I will watch it immediately after. That sounds absolutely sick.
It's
That
sick.
is a good benchmark. I wonder if so Ritual, that's an obvious one. I wonder if all the League mechanics have that crazy threshold for benchmarking builds too. I
I
haven't
have no
explored.
idea.
Right. So you've invested into Ritual. Have you been seeing a good chunk of decent uniques, or how has that been? Like the Omen versus unique ratio there. Anything valuable or?
Um, I don't know what everyone's perspective is with ritual. Every time
Okay.
I'm streaming my ritual farming, my chat always tells me that Abyss is making like 2 to 3 times the currency.
Of course.
I don't know what everything else is making. Ritual seems really bad for currency. Like when
Yeah.
you're doing the second portion after you killed King of the Mist, and you have these like rituals you map out. Some of them they showcase this in the reveal where it's like one of them could be divine orbs and the other could be mage blood, right? That's where I'm making most of my currency. Is like one of those will be +2 divine orbs or something. Very, very rarely in the ritual am I don't think I've gotten a single good omen once. And I've done
Oh,
a lot of ritual. And I've got my Atlas tree finished with it as well. And the uniques, like I think I got the Vertex, which sold for a divine.
okay.
Like that is the most valuable thing I've gotten from Ritual. And the Uber boss, like I think I assume he's got good loot. I haven't looked at his loot table yet, but every time I've killed him, I've gotten a helmet that sells for like 20 exalt. So,
Okay.
like in terms of currency, I'm not making great money from Ritual. It's just like I'm having a hard. Like, I want to go clear all the other campaign quests, but Ritual is so fun. Once I got a taste of the 6 and 7, like my first time was a 6 boss fight, and my second time doing it was a 7, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to do anything else but this. This is so much fun. So, and my
Yeah.
build's actually good for Ritual, but yeah, I need to go do the other ones. I don't know how they play out yet, but
Okay. Well, that's a great topic to get into then, Cal. So you've cleared Ritual, at least, a good chunk of the end game, and you've played for a decent amount of time. The one thing that I have caught wind of is that this new end game, it's beastly. I think Grindiger Games did try to sell it as, oh yeah, 5, 6 maps to clear an end game mechanic, to reach it, and then you can clear the end game mechanic in several maps as well, and build out your tree pretty rapidly. At least from what I've seen, my perspective, I have about 16 hours on my martial artist, maybe 6 or 7 hours in endgame. Yeah, about 6 hours in endgame. Man, I'm just in the fortress. I'm on T7 maps, and I have cleared one of the fortress gateway bosses, and that's it.
they're
No
fun.
masters, no league mechanics, nothing. So, what is your perspective on the clear time for the Atlas? I'll tell mine after yours.
Um, I mean, it just seems like it's built for like it seems like they built it for a 6 months league just to have like their degenerates like have so much to grind. There is a lot of density to it. I could see like the rates of it getting increased by like double to like the how fast
Progress.
you progress each of them. Yeah. I have cleared also a lot of the fortress stuff. I've done all of the like boss fights. I've done both arbiter kills. I think I'm at like 180. Like I'm at over halfway through the Atlas passes, maybe 200 plus. Um, it is a lot of work, and their estimations were wrong in my opinion because I don't think they were correct on the travel time to like each area because it is a lot of maps. Like for right now, for me to even start the Abyss quest chain, I need to clear like 20 maps just to get to it. And like
Wow.
same for the temple, like they're like pretty far away. So just to like start those ones, I need to go pretty far away, which is what part of the reason why I haven't. I just started Breach. It's a lot. I just assume like I think it's cool. I like how it's set up. I just think it's good. Like for me, I think it's going to be a blast. It's just like for a player that doesn't like giga grind, you're going to pick a league mechanic and you're going to do that league mechanic. And that's what you're going to do for the league. You're not going to do all the league mechanics. You're not going to full clear the Atlas because it's a long time to do these quests, man. Like you're looking at like I mean I don't know the math. I'm not going to throw out random hours, but because they even like so if you want to progress the Atlas passives
Mm-hmm.
and get the big chunks of them, you need to do more Arbiter kills, the final Arbiter kill. And if you're not trading for that, you have to go out and find the fragments. And you're clearing like a lot of maps to get to each one of those. And you're gonna have to kill like maybe it 3 or 4 times to get all of it done for each section if you're doing it that way. And if you're actually gonna go manually clear each point, I assume that's just an absurd amount. I mean, what would that be like 300 maps? So yeah, like it's a lot. I'm down for it, but I assume the normal average normie is not down for being able like if the challenge leagues entail and clearing it all the core quests, that has to be sped up for sure.
Yeah, I'm curious if so. My perspective is My goal is not to get into the farming steady state. My goal is merely just going to be to clear the end game. So beat all the quest lines, get my atlas fully allocated, but that's it. I'm not big on farming the same mechanic over and over, or trying to amass a ton of currency, or caring about div per hour. And I'm wondering if the way this is structured, it's almost like a second free form campaign that people can complete in a huge amount of time. I think it's going to take me 2 months to clear all this. I'm being very honest. So I think for other people who might be a lot slower than me, it might take, like you said, the whole 6 months to do this if this is what they would like to do. I know Grinding Your Games said their goal with this was for people to feel like they could clear the end game. Like they have a couple different states, right? They have like complete the campaign, complete all the challenges, fully allocate, or complete all the quest lines, and then fully allocate all of your Atlas nodes. And then after that, it's the farming. So I actually think a lot of people that are interested in just the experience and the journey and just completing all the quests, are, I think they'll be happy with this, honestly. I think the big concern are the people who want to finish everything as fast as possible and get into a farming state, because I'm assuming lots of folks are like, oh my gosh, I have to get all my Atlas passives first, and like in the fortress or killing the Arbiter of Divinity, and then I go back and do all the league mechanics. Because why would I go do and map to the league mechanics before I have my Atlas passive nodes? That'd be absolutely insane, right? So I'm imagining that's kind of the battle that's going on in the community. But like I said, I have not been engaging in anything. I've stayed blind. I don't want to be spoiled on the boss fight, so I'm out of step with the discourse. I don't know what your perspective is on that. Do you almost feel like it's required, if you're trying to farm and focus on the div per hour, you need to clear the fortress before you even move out and progress further in the Atlas? Or do you think there's a good balance they have there?
Those guys are always dweebs. Like no matter how it gets set up, they're gonna be upset at like no matter what it's set up, they're gonna be upset. I can't believe I have to do it this way because you like their brain forces themselves to do it the most
Optimize.
optimized way,
Mm.
and unless that most optimized way is absurdly fun, it's always going to result in that. I have seen a few. I don't look up too much content. Like whenever I'm not playing, I'm probably watching Rabbit or Miso usually.
Mm.
Because if they're like that's when they're usually live when I'm not playing. So I haven't watched too much stuff. I did look up one, so I did lie. I forgot. Like, there's so much content I've forgotten about some stuff I've done. I have done the full expedition quest chain as well.
Oh, wow.
And last night I looked up the expedition Uber boss is super fun, by the way.
Oh, sick.
But I looked up a video from a creator that was doing a coverage of the expedition mechanic and how much currency he was making, and he
Okay.
was saying he was making really good currency per hour. I think he was saying like 10 to 20 per hour. And he had done zero of the Atlas passives. He went straight to Expedition and has only been doing logbooks since start. So like, I'm not an economy player. I know that's some
Yeah.
people's game, and I was I was a little bit harsh before. Like some people, that is their game though.
Oh,
Their
yeah.
goal is divs per hour. That's where they get their enjoyment from. And but I have no idea what the state of things is. Maybe it is exponentially better to get those Atlas passives points and then to go do the other things. I have no idea. But from my narrow perspective, um, it doesn't like I honestly don't know. And the one video I saw said he had not done any of them, and I'm
Okay.
only like halfway through them, so I don't
Yeah.
feel like it's necessarily required. But
Hmm.
clearly, it's probably mathematically better to go get those points, because when you have those points, it is juicing all of the content you're doing from there. So when you're doing those campaign quests, you're getting the benefit from all those Atlas passes. So if you're gonna look at it from that narrow lens, then okay.
Yeah, I appreciated what you said earlier about how just the ritual boss spawning feels like a journey. It really does feel like all these quest lines are legit journeys, even from the way that you first encounter the NPC. They highlight the area on your Atlas map and give you a reason to go there, and you get just a little glimpse of that whole storyline. I think it's cool for existing players, and I think it's golden for new players too. I think the way they have presented this is great for a novice Path of Exile 2 player, and just so clearly outlines goals in the end game. I think they really accomplished that. And I don't even think there's much honing that needs to be done on the presentation. I just think it might be the fine tuning, the balance, the number of maps it takes to get from one to the next, all that sort of stuff. But the presentation, I feel like they nailed. And I think that was the primary goal of implementing this new version of the Atlas, was nailing the progression or the layout. And I really like that. I've liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to, even though I haven't been able to experience everything yet. Just the whole way they laid it out was A plus in my eyes. Now, I wanted to know if you have felt the impact of the new Atlas tree as well. So you've allocated around 200 nodes. I think I'm at about 20. I already feel the weight. I feel like, wow, these nodes are actually impactful, the multi-choice nodes and everything. Are you seeing that deeper into progression as well? Whereas before, you could allocate the entire tree and it wouldn't really change your maps. Now, is that very different in your eyes?
I'm just like the worst player to ask that because I'm so bad at like monitoring like my div per hour and like how that stuff works. Like at one point,
Even just the
I
feel of
was
the
like,
maps, not even div per hour, just like the feel, like do the maps
early
feel
on, it felt
different?
better because you were seeing wisp. Like early on, I was like, which one do I want to do? Okay, let's do the wisp stuff because I want to see how wisp feel right now. Are they any better? So like my first 100 points, I went up the tree and I went and grabbed every wisp node, and I was like, oh wow, every single map has wisps. Wisps are like they're not really juicing in the loot again, but at least the way in the early, I was mainly doing it during early maps, but like the whisper, at least I was feeling them more in the maps, and that was cool. But at one point, like at 100 plus points, I was like, okay, I'm not reading any more of this. Like, because sometimes, like at some point when you complete the main quest, you get 40 of them at once, and it's like, okay, how am I going to
Oh
allocate this
wow.
40? And without having like, I'm not going to map out this stuff, right? So unless there's like a detailed FUB guide where it's like, this is where your first like next 40 should go and stuff in this order. I just kind of was like, I've just been randomly slotting it at this point. I'm sure
Dude.
it's impactful, but I'm the
Yeah.
worst person to ask this stuff.
Oh no, you're good. I was just wondering because I focused on essences being an SSF this league, and
Oh,
almost
nice.
immediately I felt that. There's a
I heard
node that
essences are good to farm.
yeah, and it feels good too. Like there's a node that causes them to spawn right on top of each other and they both release at the same time. And I've had that happen in multiple maps. I ran like 8 this morning or something. That was a great feeling. I'm getting more of the essences that I really want to get to because you have that 8 choice node where you get to slot which one you want to see more. So I've loved that so far. And I peeked ahead and I saw that there's a bunch of different ways that I can change my rare monsters and spec into
Yeah.
pack size versus effectiveness. So it's exactly
Oh
what they
yeah, that's all
pitched.
cool.
Yeah, I'm pumped to allocate the full thing. Thoughts on not
Oh
being
yeah, the
able
full
to
thing's gonna
take
be
away?
sick. Like
Yeah,
for sure.
go
Like the
ahead.
difference between a full tree and like a no
Oh
tree
yeah,
is like going to be massive in difference. It's just at some point it's just, when you get 42 points, it's
it's
like
a lot.
okay, it's a lot. Yeah, I went straight for the lineage gem stuff because I really want to
Mm,
farm Rockiata's flow, and they changed lineage gems last patch. Like when you went and killed like went Rockiata's flow, or Garukin's resolve, or Adeli's bloodletting, a lineage gem had a 100% drop chance, and it would just alternate between the 4 that could drop. And I think like Rockiata's was like a 1 in 16 or 1 in 32, and like some of them were like 1 in 4 or something, right? But now it is not a 100% drop chance to get a lineage gem. And even with Jado, who gives you percent increased lineage drop percentage, and the Atlas nodes, that's like Jade Isles has a percent increased drop chance of lineage gems. I've gotten many kills without a lineage support gem,
oh
and that
no.
feels yeah, that's a very big dopamine loss. Like I've been very like the main way I have farmed the last 2 patches has been using grand projects to warp around, find these maps, and then just slamming them for lineage gems. And when you get to one, and right now grand projects are expensive, and
Oh
traversing
yeah.
the map feels kind of slow right now. But when you finally get to one, I can't afford grand projects, and I can't afford to do them twice with the whatever I forget what they're just called. But when you can't do them twice anymore, so when you do one and it doesn't drop any lineage gems, it's like, why am I traversing to these over a citadel, which will always drop a fragment, or any of the other new Uber boss? Like, why wouldn't I do a ritual route or a breach route, right? Like, when lineage gems don't have a 100% drop rate, they like, even when you're like, I don't know if there's more ways to juice it to guarantee the drop rate. Maybe that exists, but with what I've got, which is a lot of Atlas passives and Jado finished, which I do have 2 of those dudes, by the way. I don't
Hmm.
know where the third is. I think
Okay.
it's Doriani, so I guess Temple. I
Yeah.
guess gotta go to temple.
Oh, the corruption node. I think lower right hand corner, right off
Oh, I know where you're
spawn.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna path through that to get to my abyss. So okay,
Yeah,
cool.
there's so many different things to
That's so
pursue,
much
man.
fun, by the way. Like, this is a one-time thing for us to experience. Like, just assume this is the base of the end game going forward, and it's going to be changed a lot, right? But like, this is the one time where it's just like, oh, this is where you find Jado. The going through, or this, Dorian is going through the corruption. Like, the discovery has been. I don't know about for you, because I put a lot of blinders on. Only thing I get help from is like chat every once in a while.
Mhm.
But it's like I always love this shit. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm in total discovery mode too. I know nothing. I know nothing. I even thought I was making a bad build until I two shot
Dude,
that Pinnacle.
oh
I'm
my
like, are you?
god.
I two shot my first brand new boss, and I'm like, it was a huge build up. You know,
Which
you
one
go
was
up.
it?
It was the Eastern Gateway boss. So it was like a crab, mechanical crab
Oh,
thing. So I get there, and there's
that
all this
fight's
build up. You
sick,
pull the
dude.
4 levers, you walk out. He has this epic intro animation. He does this one beam attack. I get my max power charges, and I just blam, and he just dies. And I'm like,
What tiered map did you do him on, out of
dang it.
curiosity?
Tier 6. Tier 6.
Okay, okay.
Because that's the
At that
minimum.
point, I was doing like juice tier 15 maps, and he does this like
What?
so that my fight's not a one shot,
Yeah.
and he does this like really cool like centipede twirl attack type thing. Like that fight is super fun.
Okay.
That sucks that you blasted it at a low tier.
Dang
Because
it.
yeah, by that point I was doing juice maps, so I wasn't one shotting everything. It's
Right.
funny, I had that same realize like part of the reason why I didn't quit the build, like when I was a little bit salty about it, was like I was like, okay, I'm farming tier 15 to boober bosses, and I'm not really dying, but I'm feeling down about all the math that was denied of us. And then I went and this is not meant as bad BM or shit talk, but I went and looked at Rabbit's stream, and my build was performing like in my eyes comparable to Plants, both defensively and in terms of his boss DPS at that point. With like, and I had only like 8 divines invested at that point. And then I went and watched Miso stream, and he was dying like every 2 seconds. So I was like, oh, okay, my build's actually like I had that realization, like, okay, my build's not that bad. I'm doing good.
Right.
So and that's
Yeah.
what helped me stick with it.
Oh,
You reminded me of
100%.
that.
No, dude, you went up to Juice T15s fast then, because that's like 8
I had the
nodes.
realization with Temple because like I played Temple
Yeah.
League for like 6 months with like a 30 mirrored of the budget the entire of course the span of it. Like I was doing such giga juiced builds the whole time. Even like when I start a new build, like it's immediately juiced like beyond repair. So
Mm.
like I was desensitized, and I had to like reset what my expectations for a good build were. Like if I assume I go look at like, the cracked builds that like the best players are doing, my build's underperforming to that, but I needed a little bit of reality reset, and
Yeah. Well,
my friends helped me get that.
it's off meta, and that's awesome. It's so much cooler than, I don't know. Even my build is tech. I don't know if it's meta. I'm not using whirling assault and stuff, but
Are
I
you
know
doing
there's.
Facebreaker?
I'm not. I haven't found Facebreaker. My brother is doing a
Oh, right,
martial
you're
artist
solo
Facebreaker.
self-found. All right,
Yeah, I
right.
am. So I'm just getting what I get. So I'm mostly Falling Thunder with Stormwave, Killing Palm, and I'm doing like just the bells to generate power charges. And then I found the gloves. I think they're called Northbound or something, that allow all damage to contribute to chill and freeze. So my Falling Thunders are freezing everything and shattering everything on screen. So I've got double heralds running. It's very fun. It's powerful. Like I said, I'm only in tier 7 maps. So, but I just got there this morning. I went
Oh,
from
that's
tier
so
3s to
good.
tier 7. Yeah. So, and I'm not having any issues.
Are you having map sustain issues? Out
No,
of curiosity in SSF? Okay,
no,
because
not yet.
Juice, like me, Rabbit, Prada. I don't remember. I don't know if I heard Miso complain about it, but like I've heard a lot of like when it comes to like Waystone 15 sustain. Initially, it was rough.
So it's not
I don't.
guaranteed, right? Because the guaranteedness drops off, I think, at that point. Right. So yeah, I think it's guaranteed up to a certain point.
Now that I'm like doing juiced maps and I've got a lot more Atlas passes, I'm
Yeah.
getting them more. But like initially, like you know how juicers go. Like whenever we get the maps, it's buy out Doriani of all of his maps, 3-to-1 them, so you can make them like a tier 1 to tier 3, level up. So now like do that map. So now now the Doriani's all 3 maps, level up, so he refreshes. Buy all those out, skip the 6. So like you're in tier 15s within an hour or two of being in the end game top. So
Not me.
it's a different beast.
Yeah, dude, it is a total different beast. I love that there is so many ways to play. I mean, this endgame patch has only expanded that out. I know we were talking briefly just about the whole what is better, but the truth is, I don't think anybody really can tell that, especially now, right? And at the end of the day, I just think so many different things will be viable, whether you, especially if you're doing SSF, but even in trade. I think as they hone the balance on all these things, there will be so many different paths people can take and feel good at league start that, 1.0,
I
especially
think
if
it's
we get
great.
balance patches, oh, it's going to be beautiful, right? Oh, question on that. Okay, so I have seen the sentiment. I haven't ran into like any bugs, dude. Last patch, so many bugs in 0.4.
I've ran
So
into a
many
few
bugs.
bugs.
I've heard that this might be like one of the buggiest releases of all time for GGG.
It's
Is
just
the end
because
game
like
just bugged?
it's it's just I think people are extra frustrated because like if you were to go do the abyss, like say you see all these people doing abyss, like Fubgun's making 1 billion divine per hour farming abyss, and you're like, I want to go do abyss, and you start the quest chain and it bugs and you're hard locked and you can't do that divine per hour. It doesn't matter if there's one big div or one bug or 1 billion bugs. At that point, that bug is so massive that there's 1 billion people chirping about it,
Hmm,
and then it sounds to me like a lot of things had that type of like hard wall bug. I
got it.
know, like Hilda for me was bugged until they got the hot fix in. I could not get Hilda. Like I did her first quest and then I couldn't find more beast until I woke up to a hot fix. I've heard there are other quest chains that get bugged as well. Expedition as well. Like Expedition has a lot of currency behind it, the main quest chain for it, and I blasted right through it. And then when I posted a video in the Thorns Discord about it, which by the way, Thorns Discord, join it. But when I posted a video about it, someone like 10 people were like, how did you get there? It's bugged. And I was like, I don't know, just I didn't run into the bug. And eventually like that, I don't even know that one's fixed. Like it, I don't know if it like, and I've heard like some bugs, or there's like a lot of builds that have ran into bugs. Like didn't Dreamcore's build run into a critical bug that forced them to reroll? I've heard a lot of people in my chat like, hey, I've rerolled because of a bug with my build.
Hmm.
So I guess it just depends on your perspective. If you got hit with a bug build and then you got hit with an endgame campaign build, this probably feels like the worst patch ever
Yeah,
from that perspective. For
great.
me, I I have had one bug and it was not very detrimental.
Okay. Yeah, great call out on the progression. That's a huge blocker. And it makes sense that if someone literally can't progress one of the core things, they're just going to, as you said, chirp about it. And I saw that the patch that GGG released a couple days ago fixed a lot
Sorry,
of
chirp
that,
was
and
a
they're
bad
still
word.
just chirp a bad
That was
word. I think it's a good word. It's a
it's a
colorful
little
word.
provocative. They
Yeah,
should be upset about a bug like
yeah,
that. So
yeah, 100%. And
you
that's
know,
what they're primarily focusing on, is fixing those progression issues.
yes,
And I think Dreamcore's build, he did misinterpreted how the crit interaction with Bell works. I think a lot of people did that. Like it's
yeah.
something like you crit the Bell, but not all the damage around it is considered a crit, so it kind of f's with his entire scaling. So
I gotcha.
yeah,
I hadn't watched the video. I
yeah,
saw like two like that. I get like a 10-second glance, and that's like, okay, I get what I like. I don't have
yeah,
time right now.
right.
Um,
'Cause I feel
that's
that
the
way
risk
too.
of doing like fun off meta stuff. Like I literally had like like there was a moment where I was like, do I ever do something fun and new on League Start again? Because like all the doom and gloom of Ironbound during that, like when it was like everyone was like freaking out, I was like, damn, I just like got people hyped up for this, and it's just gonna be like completely ass. And I was like, do I ever do this something like this again? Now it
Yes.
worked out, so
Yes.
fuck it, I'm gonna do it every time again,
100%, dude.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the risk with off meta stuff when you're doing or brand new stuff. Even a lot of the companion boss stuff ended up working out for these people, but it could have very well been a dud, right? So
It could have. What do you think? So I've seen the thumbnails, okay, and the
I've seen
titles. One-shotting with Monkey, all the bosses in the game, 14 million with one hit. What do you think about the
really,
state of just all that
damn.
bounce? Yeah, Gazzy's videos and stuff. I guess because you can get the modifiers that you tame the boss monster
Oh,
beast with
right.
on the boss, so
That's
you can
definitely
get.
getting removed.
Well, it's intended. It's
If
apparently
they're
intended
doing
from the
if they're
devs.
doing 18 million hits, there's no way that's staying, right?
I so that
Maybe that's what they want. I don't know.
Right. So I'm a little. I I'll just say it. Path of Exile 2. How is this fair? Melee is it so? It's so crazy how this is
It
allowed. Where
depends on
you
how expensive it is, because like if Gazzy spent like a mirror on it, then sure. But if like everybody in like solo self-found can fart their way with the build and like, one shot pinnacle bosses, then yeah, that's a problem.
Well, the monkey has a base crit of 25%. And then if you find a map where you've juiced the boss to have a couple of extra mods specific to that boss,
Oh,
then
that's how they're
you
doing
tame
it.
the
I
boss,
see.
then you have a giga monkey. And it's intended. I am shocked that that was put into the game because I do agree with you. I feel like it's going to get changed going into 1.0. But
That's
but
crazy.
still,
Yeah, I didn't realize. I was like, whenever I heard that you could juice the bosses, I was like, oh, interesting. I wonder what they meant by that. Like, I thought like maybe like if they wisped it or something. I completely didn't realize that if you just juice them, like I think you can get. I don't know how many tablets you can get. Right now, I have 4 tablets. So if you did a juiced map with 4 tablets. I don't know if that could like make it even like how
yeah,
giga. I have no idea how to, but like I guess
yeah.
that's what they do,
You
and
use the mod. I'm guessing. I don't know. I haven't watched the video. I'm
that's
guessing you
so
use the
funny.
tablet modifier that says unique monsters are guaranteed to have +1 mods to them. And then if you get the
Oh,
perfect set of mods using the
I
tablet
see.
juicing,
I
like
see.
extra crits and the like, then you're good. And then there are some lineage
That's
support
so
interactions.
funny.
Right. So it is just so I don't know. It's
I
funny to
get why I
see.
get random Z DPS comments because people are out
Yeah.
there doing 27 million DPS with a freaking Munko.
Right. And you're kind of just watching because it's not like you're controlling the monkey. The monkey has a mind of its own. So you're kind of just watching. It is a
Yeah, don't let anyone tell you companion builds aren't minion builds. They're all
they
minion
are.
losers, okay? Okay?
Like I'm not saying, guys,
I'm kidding.
I
I'm
know there's a
kidding.
lot of you out there. I'm not saying I want you to be nerfed. I'm just asking, some parity between the archetypes here. This
No,
is
that should be
insanity.
nerfed.
This is
Well, okay,
insanity.
it depends on how hard and expensive it is, but
Yeah.
that sounds like it is too like not intended to be that good. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean,
But
GGG
it
says they're
is.
going to do multiple balance passes, and with these resets coming up, so we'll
Oh
see
yeah.
what happens to that.
Yeah. I feel like monkey build is going to get nuked from orbit.
Monkey build is cheap.
Monkey
Like
it is.
if it's solo self out cheap, then
Yeah.
that's a pro. I mean, maybe that's what GGG wants. Who knows? I think that's ridiculous, but I haven't seen it as well. So, but it sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, I've insane. If you were controlling the monkey and you had to, time when to do
Yeah,
the
if you
attacks and everything.
became the monkey, like if the thing was you were the monkey, that's cooler. But still, even then though, 27 million damage per hit, like I've had builds like that cost a mirror. 27 million per
It's
hit.
yeah.
Like, if I think a million DPS plus should be reasonable on a budget. Like, I want bosses to melt for sure, but I'm assuming like 27 million hits is not even like the cap. So that's just, I
I'm
mean, yeah.
one-shotting most things on tier 15 with 4 divines invested into monkey build. Look at that. Look at the chat. They're coming in with the receipts on the monkey build, going insane. So
Legendaries.
we'll see.
Legendary monkey build.
We'll see how high can we
Everyone
get.
was like hyping it down too. These bastards, dude. DM and Gazi, they wanted to keep the prices low. They're no, don't thumbs up them. They're rats. They were like, this is gonna be an L tier beard build. We're gonna not end up playing this, re-rolling. We're gonna commit to it. And they secretly knew, didn't they, that this was gonna be one shot and everything.
Yeah, it's crushing the end game.
Market
So
manipulation.
I I will say I am giving into Monkey. I have started a Spirit Walker in SSF, and I just want to try it out because I know this is going to be gone. This
Hell
is
yeah,
going to be
dude. No,
the
do it.
one
Yeah.
time when Monkey is going to be like this, I bet. So I just felt like, I've never really played a minion build. Let's give it a go and see how it feels. So I'm going to
Minion build,
slowly work my
yes.
way up to that and see how I can scale it because it does from the bombastic thumbnails I've seen, it looks very
I need to
cool.
watch videos now. You've got me like super peaked now.
Yeah.
I've watched very few stuff. I've watched 2 videos basically. It was the expedition video, and then I watched a lazy exile video about a tech.
Yeah.
And that's all I've seen. There's so much to play, man. It's hard to look at anything. I very much want to consume other content because I'm sure there's so many techs I can learn. And luckily, that's the lucky thing that we get as an advantage as a streamer is that we get told stuff when we're playing,
Mm-hmm.
so that helps out a little bit. But
Well, anything you've been told pique your interest about your next build? I know you want to scale Ironbound to the maximum. Do you have a next build in
yeah.
mind?
So there's an interesting thing that happened with this build. or with me this league.
Oh,
So every league since 0.2, I've used a tactician skill called supporting fire. It rains down a bunch of arrows, and in 0.2 and 0.3, it was completely booty butt cheeks, like it was so bad.
uh,
But in 0.4, it got buffed, and it was actually a really fun build. It's a very good. I want to call it a cozy build, but like to be put it bluntly, it's a noob friendly build. It's very simple. It's very easy to scale. You scale its attack via defenses by scaling strength, so you get more life, so you're life stacking. Um, and its clear is massive. And in this patch, it got a lot of buffs. And this is like the first time I've had a build that like I'm not league starting, but I updated the build for this patch. It was the one
uh,
build I updated for 0.5 because it was clearly getting buffed, and it was weirdly my most popular build of last patch in terms of mobalytics follows. That's how I track how well my builds do, is mobalytics follows each league. How many follows that guy had got
right.
is the best way, because views change, because a build could be cool looking, but people don't want to play it because it's like weird or niche or something. So video views is not a good way of gauging how, in my eyes, how good your build is. At least for me, I use mobalytics follows, and the supporting fire did so well last patch that I updated for this patch. And right now, I get comments like, when I'm streaming, it's so weird to be playing a build that I think is hype and is fun, and I'm constantly getting someone showing up, hey, I'm playing your supporting fire build. I love this so much. I wish you were playing it right now. Like to the point that like I'm considering league starting it. I probably won't league start it at 1.0 because new shit's gonna bait me per usual.
Yeah.
But like it's like I know why people get locked in on builds and they become known for a build, because when you set it up like this, and then there's inevitably new stuff with each patch, so it's like no matter how well I set it up, without me playing it, I can't perfectly navigate it for them with all the new changes, right? So it's just been weird to like get so many comments about it. I love the build. I played like 5 times last patch.
Oh, wow.
I played it in multiple private leagues, and then in solo self found and in hardcore.
Dang.
um it's a very fun build. I highly recommend it. It's like it just makes literally you push up. It's a minion skill that you. It's a command skill. You press it and you just rain in 1,000 arrows, and it cakes the entire screen. And when you scale your dexterity, it increases the area of effect of it, so you can
Okay.
scale it like multi-screen away. And this patch, it actually has pretty good DPS because of the new Archon of Undeath. It allows you to get such a high cooldown recovery that before we couldn't overlap supporting fire. Its cooldown would come up right as the volley would end,
Right.
but now you can get multiple volleys going. So before it was like a really fun and cozy build that like had kind of a wall at tier 3 content, but now it looks like it's a build that has insane scaling potential. So I'm playing that because A, it was probably my favorite build from last patch, but B, because it's just weird having this build that I set up for this league. I've never had that experience before, where
Yeah.
I've set up a build for a league starter, but I'm not playing it. And there's a lot of people that are just like, can you update it more for this patch? And it's like, all I can do is ask my friends in the Discord who are playing it and get like rough ideas. But even then, that feels like I'm kind of like cheaping them out on it. But if it's this fun of a build and this popular of a build, like part of me wants to almost like it's to answer your question long-windedly. I'm probably playing that next to update the guide for it. But
Yeah.
B, to the point, but also I want to maybe league start it in 1.0,
Okay.
because 1.0 is going to introduce a lot of new players. A brand new skew of like people who are holding off for it to be free to play.
Yep.
And if it's that good of a like league starter, but also a noob friendly build, it's like, do I do something KallTorak-esque where I show off like the kind of creator I am by doing something weird and wacky on League Start, or do I show them like a good journey with supporting fire that it's just a very well structured and safe build?
Yeah.
I'm having like a little bit of like, it's weird how I'm already planning for 1.0 because of how I'm being interacted with this build by the community, or at least my viewers and stuff. But yeah, I'm playing supporting fire next.
Okay, sick. No, somebody in chat's like, oh, I'm clearing 200% deli maps with supporting fire already. Day
It's
4 of the league? What? That's insane.
it's a, it was already really good last patch, but it
Yeah.
took a lot of currency to get online. There was one note in the patch, like A, we got the Puppet Master stuff and Archon of Death, which just adds a bunch of scaling. But two, we got a bunch of minion damage stuff for like just minion stuff just got buffed in general. And then there was a bug in the patch notes that they talked about right before launch that said there was an issue with minion skills where a lot of minion stuff will be doing 30% more damage in late game now. Like,
Yeah,
so there's just
I
a
know.
bug that was making minions do 30% less damage, which supporting fire, if you don't know, despite being a rain of arrows, it is a minion skill.
Yeah.
So all of that gets, but like minions just got giga buffed and it was already like an above average build. So
This is the minion patch.
yeah.
It is. It's supporting
Oh, for
fire,
sure.
monkey, all the other possibilities that are probably going to unfold between now and the launch of 1.0. And I'm glad that you brought that up. We talked at great length about 0.5. 1.0, though, is on the horizon, dude. We got ExileCon, and then 1.0 is almost a lock for launching in December. I think the Endgame is being received pretty well. I'm seeing people who hated it before say, I'm addicted now. You got me. So I think that
Oh
they're
yeah,
launching
sweet.
1.0. What would be your one big desire for the exit of early access? Do you have anything that's top of mind that you'd like to see?
Um, I mean, so I hate bringing up this discussion because like it's so polarizing and it's so like dismissive on both ends, but
Oh boy.
to me, weapons matter. As a melee main, when you count how many core skills you can use as a melee skill, it's like less than 40 skills in the game that you can use as your core skill functionally versus range skills, it's like probably over 150 at this point. And I know the gap between melee and range skills is always going to be big. It's so much easier to make range skills. A lot of melee skills end up, and the reason I say it's so low, a lot of skills with the melee tag aren't melee skills to me. They are pseudo range skills, right? Because they're shooting projectiles or something, or they have such a long like arc projectile skew to them.
Right.
Like true melee skills, there's not enough of them. And to me, new weapons matter. I'm not upset that there wasn't a new weapon in this patch. I'm not throwing a fit or anything, but every single patch going forward, when a new weapon gets added, to me, like as a melee main, that is just so exciting because it just adds so much more to the archetype. So like for me, every single patch, flails, maces, swords, daggers, claws, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm gonna get super excited for it. Again, I'm not the one of the ones that's like I want to refund $2,000 plus in microtransactions
Right.
because like I'm not one of those bozos. But as a melee main, there is like the end game was missing something key, right? And it just got a huge overhaul. That's how melee feels to melee mains. It's still missing it's still missing a lot to it. And that's why you see melee mains getting upset that there's no weapons. Again, I'm not throwing any fits. I'm not defending those people. But there are so many people who are just like super dismissive that are just like, get over it. Like look what you have in front of you. It doesn't matter. I recognize that it is a little bit frustrating as a melee main, and every patch going forward, I will be looking forward to a weapon. And I know that every patch going forward, it's not going to introduce a weapon. So, but that's what I want. Is like to me at this point, the only thing missing, like obviously we want more balance, we want more goals, we want more pinnacle content, yada yada. To me, the only thing that's truly missing is weapons. That's it. That is it. Like everything else, we like probably have the floor of from what I play the game for.
Hmm.
I obviously want bossing content to be like more fluid and like have a higher ceiling, which we might actually have with this patch. I haven't fully dipped into it, but to me, the only thing that is missing is weapons. That is
Weapons.
it.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there's definitely nuance to that whole discussion where people, I think, were understandably just upset. They don't need to throw a fit or anything, but people who were just disappointed, I totally did understand that because that's what a lot of people are looking for in the game. They want their favorite archetype to be added. They thought it was going to be, it wasn't. I'm upset. Okay. Hopefully with 1.0 we see, swords or axes or daggers or one of those archetypes dropped into the
Mhm.
game. I also think there's some room that needs to be done still on rare monster modifiers and just the way that those interact with melee, especially. I mean, I'm sitting here with Falling Thunder, with Quarterstaves, and the Temporal Bubble is still just ridiculous. These
Oh
sort of
yeah,
mods
dude,
in the
it's so
game are
annoying.
so, I don't know. Just the way the game, I don't know what it
I think that's just a
necessarily
curse of
adds.
melee. I don't know if there's ever a way you can make melee not at a disadvantage.
I,
And that's just like what you have to accept as a melee
no,
player, but I agree with you
I
completely
had an
though.
idea. I had an idea though, Cal. You introduce a new rare monster modifier that is a projectile and it just randomly shoots out from the rare monster. Let's call it like honing missile or something. And if it hits you and you're more than like 6 meters away from the monster, it instantly kills you. It just
Fuck yeah, dude,
so
do that.
the projectile enjoyers
What happens
get
when you get
destroyed.
hit when you're trying to get in range, though?
Maybe it looks at the weapon you're wearing as well. And if you have a sword or a quarterstaff or a mace, you're safe.
Oh, okay. So
You're
if you're
safe.
not using pussy
There
skills,
you
then you don't
go. There you
get
go. I feel like it's
you
fair.
don't get.
I feel like it's fair, given all the ground degens, temporal bubbles, all the rest of the stuff
No,
in the game.
dude, I'm all for melee buffs for sure. What are your thoughts on the no life on tree discussion? I don't know if I've ever had that
No
with
life
you.
on tree. So I think that
Do you play life builds ever, or are you always playing EVES?
I've played. I haven't played life builds in PoE2. No.
So you're only playing
I
energy
mean,
shield?
I understand where they're coming from, where they're like, if it's added to the tree, everybody feels that it's totally mandatory. I feel like if they added in isolated patches of typical life classes, I think that'd be better. And they are starting to introduce more and more. They did add like some to the right hand side of the tree, even though they're like 3% nodes. I saw some there next to the monk start. I think that it's just bringing energy shield into parity with life, which I think they took a step forward to from what I've seen with the patch notes, making it
Do you
into a
feel nerfed?
true, not just extra life bar, where it's actually like, okay, no, its recharge rate is something you need to care about and invest in. Because I feel like in past patches it was kind of a joke. It was just you just stack as much energy shield as possible, and you're gonna get it regenerating at a decent rate.
Gotcha.
Which it didn't feel like it was very equal with life. So I understand what they're trying to do. I've seen from chat that armor is very strong this patch too, and you can be running around with just 2K
Armor's always
life.
strong. They just haven't played armor before, man.
Oh, I haven't.
But armor's always good.
I know
Armor's
that they
always been
added a
good.
bunch of awesome
People
Ellie
that know,
damage
know.
taken as Fizz to the tree itself too, and chaos damage taken as Fizz to the tree with armor. So like armor applies to it. So that's good all around. Don't need to find it on gear.
I don't think I would have to look at my tray. I don't think I'm using any new armor passives right now. I'm using all the ones that I've always used so far. I don't know if they tweaked the armor. Like I'm sure that the new stuff I was using them briefly. It is very good, but armor's just good, man.
Yeah,
It feels really good this patch with ward specifically. If you put ward behind your armor, that does feel really good.
Okay. Yeah, see, I haven't invested much into it past level 55 because it starts to take away from my ES evasion. And when I was Hollow Palm, I couldn't risk that. I couldn't lose my crit and attack.
I wonder how good that is, because like I have not done, like I just like slapped it into all my gear just to like see how it did.
Yeah.
I'm curious how impactful it is for each setup.
Yeah, when once I did swap to quarterstaffs from Hollow Palm, maybe I can invest back into it. So we'll just have to see.
You didn't mess with any of the new rune skills or rune supports yet?
I have not touched any Kalgurin stuff. No, I'm looking for the one that allows you to block essentially without
that's
using.
the one I was talking about earlier with Lazy Exile.
Yeah,
that's the one
and you get the parry buff.
Gives you 100% block. Yep.
Yes, with Falling Thunder, dude. So I could time it to get 50% more damage on my Falling Thunder if I get one parry off, dude. That sounds great on Pinnacles. That sounds.
I'm curious how it'll work on a evasion energy shield build, because it works off the stun threshold.
Ooh.
And like, so the way that like it makes you pretty much immortal if you have high armor. I'm curious how it would work with your build. I don't know if you could scale the stun threshold for it. I would not be like, it might like you might want to be safe with it when you test it, because wait, you're not hardcore. Never mind.
No, I'm SSF. So I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just SSF, no hardcore. I can't.
But you
live
just have
that
to
life.
find it. Yeah, I had to buy it because I was trying to get it for a while, and I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna trade for it.
Refutation. I'll be on the lookout. 100%.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Okay.
I imagine it'll get nerfed, but
maybe
it's cool.
Maybe. Okay, Cal, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about, 0.5 or otherwise?
How have you enjoyed it? Are you?
I'm loving it. I'm a little jealous that I can't play more, but alas, it is the life I live with family.
Would you want it to be slower, or would you want to progress faster, or do you like, as from your perspective, are you excited about this chase you're about to have to do for each campaign?
I like the journey. I like the journey completely. It's just a matter of finding the time. I'm fine with this pace. I'm just worried. I think the community will push back quite a bit on it, and it's going to be shortened quite a bit. I like that it's kind of a build up and it gives you time to slowly build up your character's power while also getting all these quests. I still think that the boss's health should be increased. I think it's total crap that I got to this in, I don't think, great gear, SSF gear, you know, tier 7. I think I'm playing as intended, and I like two-shot the boss. Like I'm not abusing any crazy tech. I am playing a monk with falling thunder and bells.
That's abuse right there. Hold on. That's meta.
Abuse.
That's meta slave abuse
Not
right
abuse.
there.
I rolled a wheel. I rolled a wheel. I didn't even choose this. It was RNG. So I still am pretty intent on that. We'll see how the higher tier bosses are. You said 20 mil. Is that for the farming pinnacle or the base pinnacle?
I don't know if you can get a higher version of that boss. I am not sure. If I recall, Uber Arbiter also had like 24 million life, but you kill him like once and a half. And this boss you kill once and a half as well, and his final phase at 24 million. So that might be the Uber Arbiter comparison.
Right. We'll have to see. I'll see how it feels. I just
don't know.
I just love needing to engage with mechanics and seeing things. So I'm pumped to try out the 7 boss rituals. Like you said, I'm sure that's going to be insane, so right?
Oh, and it prints face breakers, by the way. So if you haven't chosen a league mechanic and you really want your face breakers, like you get a lot of uniques. So to rephrase, sorry, when earlier you asked, do you get good uniques? Yes. But for as a trade league perspective, most of them end up being 1 exalt because, you know, you see all of them. But you really cycle through so many of them that, like, as a solo self-found player, you will be flush with uniques, like of any build variety you want to make. So I highly recommend it if you want to play with fun uniques.
Sick. Well, I'm looking forward to it. And Cal, this has been a pleasure as always. I have to hop to work, unfortunately, but it's always great talking to you. I hope you have a great league, the rest of your league start.
You too, man.
I thought you were showing me your mustache, but you were giving me a heart.
Oh,
absolutely beautiful. I thought you were outlining it. I was like, what is going on right here? I really appreciate it, man. If anybody's not following KallTorak already, make sure you go and do it on YouTube, on Twitch. Everything will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Still Sane podcast. Check out his podcast too, Path to Exile, with Dead Rabbit and Miso. And we will see you in the next one. I love the dance. Bye, everybody.